you heard about what happened in Mississippi in education? Because right now, their low income students are ranked #1 in reading for fourth grade. Their fourth grade Black population is #3 in the nation for fourth grade reading, and its Hispanic population is #1. This article is in the New York Post, and it's called the Mississippi Miracle. But there's really nothing miraculous about it. What they did was they went back to the science of reading and intense phonics instruction. And then they also have accountability, where if you are not on grade level by third grade, you are held back. In fact, there's other southern states that have taken up similar policies, and they're showing growth as well. So they went from 49th in reading on the National Assessment of Educational Progress from about a decade ago to 9th in 2024. And if you actually adjust it for socioeconomics and the demographics, Mississippi has the best fourth grade results in the nation. So if you went to 2011, only 1 in 5 fourth graders were proficient in reading. So in 2013, they required their teachers to understand the science of reading, the phonics, and they deployed literacy coaches to schools, identified students who were struggling to read, and held back the students in third grade who were not ready to advance. Alabama, Tennessee, and Louisiana are also making gains. And the original source of the law came from Florida in 2002. And for a while, there was a battle between the whole language model approach and phonics. And ineffective methods have hung around.
It's crazy. When you focus on the simple stuff, your kids get better. We focusing on phonics, learning how to read, and next you know, you become successful when your kids are actually passing grades. We don't have an agenda. We're not pushing transgenders. We're not pushing everything to make sure our kids are socially and all this. We teaching these kids how to read. What if California adopted this? What I tell people, there's no money in having problems. What does that mean? If you have kids that can't read, you're going to continually get money to help the kids read. But if you solve the problem, there's no more money. All these things, when I look at my daughters, my daughters when they used to be in public school, it's the dumbest shit ever. The math is all weird. The reading is all weird. It's not simple. It doesn't get straight to the point. The teaching of these things is what's confusing the kids. That's the reason why they fall behind. Keep it simple, stupid. But when I look at this, though, what I love about it is I did my research is, so Mississippi shifted away from the whole language and balanced literacy and mandated evidence-based reading instructions, explicit phonics, phonemic awareness, and decoding and fluency before comprehension. Meaning, you don't need to know what this means yet overall. You got to know how to read it. See, what's going on is they're trying to teach comprehension and reading. That's later on in life. Do you understand how to say the words? Because if you understand how to say the words, you'll eventually learn how to comprehend the words. Another thing I like about this is they require literacy coursework for elementary teachers. I feel like these elementary teachers are not doing more to understand what they need to teach. And these teachers got ongoing coaching. All this money these school districts get, they're forgetting the teacher. If you continue to do the same job, how are you going to get better if you're not getting coaching? And they have clear standards for how reading is taught, not just what is taught. Everybody's on the same plane. This is how we're going to teach it. I don't care what teacher you are. I don't care what grade you are. This is how we teach reading. But this is what happens when you keep things simple. Shout out to Mississippi, man. The Mississippi Miracle. I love it. I wish schools adopt that here in California, but why they don't do that? Because there's money in having stupid kids. Did you know that the University of California, San Diego said 1 in 8 kids from California go to their school can't read above middle school? That's the same. That's sad. Let's keep going into it. They had early screening and intervention. So basically, students who fell behind get immediate targeted help. No waiting until middle school to catch up. Exactly. If your child's having a problem, put them over here, get them an extra help to bring them along. Because that child does not need to be with these other kids that they're moving up. Bring them over there, give them that extra help. Cool. Accountability. Letting the parents know, hey, I need you to help with this. I need you to have them read out loud. I need you to do this. Everybody's on the same plane. They went from 49 to #1. So why don't these other places adapt this? Why doesn't California adapt this? Because there's money in having stupid kids. There's money in having these kids not being able to read, so you can ask for extra resources. That's the reason why these Democrats they want the problems, they want the crime, they want the homelessness, they want the dumb kids, they want the bad schools. It's because that's how they get money. I believe if I was governor, what I would do is you get rewarded based off your performance. If your kids can't read and they don't pass the grade, you get docked pay. See, I come from the basketball world, professional athlete. If I didn't perform right, if I did something wrong, I get docked pay. See, it says Mississippi spends less per pupil than most states, has higher poverty rates, and lacks advantages of elite school systems. It's not about the money. It's about the leadership. It's about the people in charge creating these things. There's no way you have a superintendent making $500,000, $1 million a year, and the school is shit. He shouldn't be getting that. All these people in those positions should be getting performance-based pay. If you're still at the lower half of states in education, you shouldn't be getting paid that much. You wouldn't have these. You would have better people because if my school district fails, we ain't getting no money. I'm not getting my money. That's what we need to do.
Besides having teachers teach with methods that are scientifically proven, they also point out that there has to be high expectations and there has to be accountability. And that's what the third grade retention policy is all about. Exactly. So if a teacher and a parent know that a child is going to be held back, they will do what they can to get that child to basic proficiency.
Got to have accountability. That's the biggest word that I talk about, even across the whole United States, but even with these kids, is accountability. Who's being accountable? Is the parent being accountable? Is the teacher being accountable? Because if your kid can't read by the third grade, you guys failed. You guys failed the kid. It's the parent's fault. It's the teacher's fault that kid can't read past third grade. Take accountability. And then the funny thing is, if they don't pass, they stay in the third grade. So now that kid's putting more pressure on themselves to read better because now it's a social thing. Now I'm not with my friends. See how that works? You see how you use the social life to improve your kid? Because no, I ain't getting left behind. I'm going to read. I'm going to get this because I want to be with my friends. That's how you do it.
And then research in Florida showed that when a child does get held back, it not only helps their academic performance of the student that is retained, but if they have younger siblings as well. So I always like to look at what's happening in other parts of the country because everything is so different from state to state. But what do you think about this article? And if you teach there, are you actually seeing this too? Because we know sometimes when something's put out in an article, it makes everything look good, but it's not actually what you have happening in your personal classrooms.
I would love to see this in California because what we see is we have a lot of non-English speaking kids in the classroom with English speaking kids as their first language. And they're the ones holding everybody behind. And they're the ones that continue to get moved up, but they can't even read. So I love this. If you can't read, if you can't pass this test by third grade, you stay behind. And then making everybody performance-based. You get a base, but performance-based. You work better when you are not getting a good salary. You only get it if you do good. Performance-based. Because a lot of these teachers will become a teacher, get a cool salary, and just be cool with that and do the bare minimum. That's the reason why I like performance-based pay for teachers. Also, too, school does not need to be 9 months. It needs to be year-round. I believe in having a winter break, a spring break, and a summer break. Maybe a fall break. But school does not need to be 9 months. And then during those 9 months, really, is so many holidays and school off. And then 3 months, summer. What are you teaching your kids? Then your kids come back even dumber because they don't do anything. They don't go to school. We need to change our standards. We need to be better. We need to have year-round school like they do in Japan, like they do overseas. Our kids don't need a 3-month break. We need to start matching up the school system with the work, how people work. There's a lot of parents that are struggling, and the reason why these kids go astray is because summer break. Your kids are sitting at home doing nothing. What does that mean? They own Roblox. They own the iPad. They own the computer because you have to go to work. Y'all, I wish I could be governor in California I'll change it up because we need to have smarter kids. We need to let our kids know the importance of learning, but also too, they need to be learning. Too many vacations. As a parent, I'm talking from as a parent perspective. Too many vacations, too many holidays off, too many long breaks. Then you have a 3 month break. How is a parent supposed to survive and pay for all these things if my kids is off for 3 months? It's really idiotic. There's no way that our kids should have a long ass summer break like that. This is why teachers need to get paid more, needs to be performance based, and school needs to be a year round. If school was just a year round right already, our kids would be automatically smarter because they're in school more. Why do teachers get a 3 month break? We still paying for taxes for these things. Why they not in school? Do we get a break from the taxes for 3 months? Hell no. But we have to put our kids in school. We have to get them and teach them the basics before we teach them complex stuff. But I love this. Mississippi Miracle, look it up. New York Post. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. As always, we'll keep this thing rocking. Make sure you hit the notification bar to see all the new videos. Got a new show coming, daily show. Thinking about doing it around 10 a.m. California time. Thinking about calling No Fluff Morning Show. Let me know your thoughts about that name. We're going to keep it rocking.